And now, suspense.
I always love it too when someone can play the like kind of opposite of who they are in a way. Like I think that's why we're so like impressed with people who can play like villains, I guess, in movies,
Yeah.
because like obviously they're not out there like torturing people and
Hmm.
and stuff. And so like I guess that's why in a way like we're so, especially actors too, actors that I've talked to always want to play villain roles because it's so much more fun because they get to play someone who's pretty much the exact opposite of who they are in real life.
Yeah. I got to play a evil goddess in a indie film, and that was so fun. I just had it's like just I got to scream and slam someone against a tree and just like get in that energy of like I am so powerful and like I could kill you like that. And it's so cool to get there. And then you turn around the next day and it's like a quirky little romantic comedy and you get to play and have fun with that too. They're all just so different.
You did a short film, right? That was a western.
We did a teaser.
Okay, yeah, that was
Yeah. So that for Paid in Blood is
yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. Yeah. So excited. So that one, I'm not sure. Like, we shot it in July, I think, and so we're just kind of waiting. I think he's using the teaser to get funding for, to make a short, and then he'd want to make the short to make the feature. So it's like a big step process thing that
Mm-hmm.
they've got all figured out. So hopefully it works because it was so fun making the teaser for it. And
Yeah.
I have read the script for the short and it's amazing. The guy who wrote it's a friend of mine and it's such a good one. I really hope that story gets to be told.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I gotta say, you looked super cool in that.
I got to wear it like it's like an old-timey Western. And it was funny because like, you think like females in old-timey Westerns and like they've got their dresses and I was like the owner of the bar, so like little barmaid, but like I showed up and I got to wear pants and I was like, yes, I'm the badass female who gets to wear pants in a Western. It was really cool. So it like steps it up so much. And like, I don't know, I think it's sweet. I really, really hope that we get to make that film. It deserves to be made.
Yeah, because being from Arizona and stuff and being like an hour or so away from Tombstone, like I've growing up, I really like my dad was a huge fan of Westerns. So I've probably seen like every Western ever made, especially if it had Clint Eastwood in it. I've seen it. And so
Cool.
I've always been attracted to the Westerns a lot. And again, because I think like just a lot of the aesthetic as well just looks, even though it's very dirty and grimy, it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. And it's such an environment when you're there and shooting and getting to I just find it's so fun. You enter the saloon and there's a drunk guy passed out over here and a horse outside and you're just like in this great environment and I love it. And I'm a big history nerd. I'm a history major, so
it's also a very unique time, like there was really nothing like it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's why people have such an intrigue in it. I actually like the whole fact that, I mean, we don't really get too many. I think that's why also I love, when somebody's working on a project that has to do, that is a Western, because we don't really get too much of them as often anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What has taken over in that space, which I also love and appreciate, is the neo-Western.
What's neo-Western?
It's basically has all the elements of like a traditional Western, it's just in a more modern setting. I think like the last one that came out that was pretty popular was Hell or High Water with Chris Pine, and then like that would be considered a neo-Western. Right. Has all the same elements to it, except it's in a more modern setting.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the old-timey ones personally.
Yeah.
Either would be really fun to create.
Yeah, that genre I think has gotten, like there was a few of them here and there, and now that genre is actually getting very popular. I mean, even right now with Yellowstone is also a neo-Western, and that's huge right now.
Oh yeah, it's enormous. It's crazy. And it sounds like they're going to come up and shoot some of that up in Alberta for their next season.
We got to get you in there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Definitely. We've got like Heartland is a big Western up here, and then all sorts of like Western movies have come through Alberta. It's a nice place to shoot, and I think that there's just going to be more.
I'll start harassing people now to get you in those.
Please do. Yeah, I'll keep working on my horse riding skills. I rode as a kid quite a bit with my grandma. She was a very strict riding instructor.
Like 20 minutes from where I live, they have a lot of tours where you can go horseback riding.
Nice.
I've been meaning to go, but I kind of have a bit of a fear of it because I'm just like, what if I do something wrong and the horse just like decides to just like take off with me or something, you know?
No, they wouldn't. On those tours, they're just, and that's the horse's job, and they like their job. A lot of they wouldn't run off, or else that wouldn't be their job.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
Definitely. I just get to go to my cousin's farms and ride around over there with horses that it's not their job to do calm walks, so they would run off. But
something I'll look into doing once it starts to warm up a bit.
Well, what's the temperature there now?
Today was actually pretty. Well, I mean, cold for here. I'm gonna have to like convert it into.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So right now it is 11 degrees Celsius.
Nice.
52 Fahrenheit here.
All right. Balmy 11 degrees.
It's probably just because like when, you know, being an American and just doing it by that system, to me, I guess it makes more sense. Like when here when it's really hot, the temperature's high, which makes sense to me because like in other places where it's really hot, they'll be like, oh, it's like 60. And I'm like, that seems pretty low for how boiling hot it is. So because like here, when it gets hot, it's like 100 Fahrenheit. And that to me makes sense because I'm like, oh, 100? Yeah,
it's
that's
100.
terrible. Yeah, you know, that sounds awful.
Like the hottest it would get here is like 35, 38 maybe.
See, that doesn't sound bad. Like to me, like that's like, oh, that sounds great, you know. But it's like in reality, it's like no.
What does minus 30 sound like when it gets to minus 30?
Oh yeah, that sounds like that also sounds not good.
Yeah, we've had some like really, really cold spells up here this winter. Minus like 35. Oh, it's just too cold. It's like the 10 to 20 degrees. That's what I like. Celsius.
Yeah. Because even though I do live in a very warm climate, I'm very much someone who loves the cold. Because I think I just appreciate it more because when it gets hot here, it gets really hot and it's just like I can't stand it. They always say like, oh, you've lived here your whole life or whatever, you should be used to it. It's like I don't think any human body can get used to the heat like that.
And I find when it's like crazy hot, like here in Calgary, when it gets super cold, you just have to be prepared for it. So if you've got your toque and your warm coat and your warm gloves and your boots and everything, like you can prepare for that. But when it's crazy hot, I mean, put on a hat. Like you can't really prepare yourself for like insane heat.
Yeah,
just stay inside.
I'm not authorized to evacuate Ahwatukee, but this temperature seems pretty high.
Cave Creek is really
Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, they don't look good either. And frankly, Wickenburg is a total loss.
I mean, you should just stay inside when it's minus 32, but you have to go to the store. Yeah, we don't shut things down.
I was always jealous. That's why I was always jealous of kids who had like snow days and it's like, oh, school's closed. There's so much snow. And like here, it's like, no, even if it's like, you know, boiling hot, you still got to go to school. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we haven't had a snow day in a while. It would have been like 3 years ago when my son was 2. And we just got a huge dump in Calgary. So much snow. It was crazy. You couldn't drive. And so we took the snowmobiles out on all the roads and played around and ripped around the neighborhood. We were waiting for that to happen again in our new neighborhood. Tear it up.